another episode of RV Business on the Road. I am sitting here with Derek Weber at Colorado Camper Van. I'm excited to be here and learn a little bit more. So, Derek, tell me about what you do and what Colorado Camper Van is all about.
So, Colorado Camper Van started out doing pop tops on vans. We just saw a need in the industry that wasn't being filled. There was one other company doing it, and we didn't like the way they were. Some of the things they did, it just needed to be updated. So we came up with a new design around their patent and changed a bunch of stuff on it just to fit our needs and fulfill that empty void. So everything we do is focused around a pop top van. The sweet thing about the pop top van is that you can seat 4 and sleep 4, or sometimes 6 even, depending on your layout. Where without that pop top, you limit your seating and your sleeping on the space that you have and how much stuff you can carry depending on what your hobbies are.
So the pop top is really like your bread and butter.
That's
here.
Our bread and butter.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And I haven't seen anything like this.
Right.
It's very unique, and I think really it's the height and the sturdy and the stability of it. Right. That's what makes it special.
Yep. That's one of the things.
Right. Tell me a little bit more about it. Is it
so the pop top? We made them wider, longer, higher. So when you sit up in bed, I'm 6'2". I have about 10 inches of headroom, 10 to 12 inches depending on the van. And the beds are longer, the beds are wider, the windows are bigger, the canvas is insulated, where nobody else does pretty much any of this stuff that I just talked about.
Right.
Except for us. And then we also put air conditioners in the roofs and vent fans in the roof where nobody else does that. And then the one thing we do that nobody does is we'll do pop tops on high roof vans.
Oh.
So nobody else does that, and that makes for a massive van. We park one of those in the garage and it looks like someone parked a building.
That's amazing. Do you have one here that we can take a look at?
We probably do have a high roof that we can pop up.
Awesome.
And take a look at.
Yeah, that's really cool. So with the fans and things that you put in, do you work with specific manufacturers, or is it just on the specifications of what the customer is requesting?
No, we work with specific manufacturers, but due to COVID and all the other, canals getting jammed and whatever other problem or excuse they can come up with, it really has an effect on the stuff that we get. And
right.
We literally had a whole crate of windows sitting in the Suez Canal waiting to be delivered. So we try to stick with our normal stuff, but you got to be a little bit flexible with this COVID stuff and everything else going on. So if we have to improvise for a few vans, we have to improvise for a few vans. That's all there is to it.
So obviously there's been, as an industry as a whole, there's been, a lot of bottlenecks with a lot of suppliers, right? That's just happening. I feel like there's been an improvement since then. So it's great. We're moving forward.
In the right direction.
Right.
Hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Right. So do you think, obviously COVID hit, there's people like me, I started living RV life. In this whole nomad lifestyle, have you seen a jump in people requesting custom vans and coming to you for?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Whether so our vans are more, we do vans from everything from somebody that has a very small budget wants to live in their van to somebody that makes $700,000 a year and it's just a toy and build me a fun toy to haul my mountain bike around or impress my friends or whatever the case is.
Right.
But the core of our crowd is 30-something, 40-something with kids that don't want to have an RV. They live in somewhere that has an HOA. They can park a van in there and they can't park an RV there. So, and they want something that mom or dad can haul the kids around to school or drive to work or whatever and be able to go play in the weekends.
So with that demographic too, do you find that, because people bring their vans to you, you don't actually supply
Correct.
the vans and sell them that way.
Yeah.
So do you see like a lot of requests for 4-wheel drive conversions? Do you see, or is it just that the van already has that and you're?
So right now the 4-wheel drive conversion side of things, that's just like a steady little side market. We just do the old Ford E-Series vans. And then now Ford has an all-wheel drive van and Sprinter has an all-wheel drive and a 4-wheel drive van out and available. But really and truthfully, even the people that do 4-wheel drive vans, very few take them out and really pound on their vans. I have one and I do it on a regular basis. I have it out this week and beating on it. But at the end of the day, all-wheel drive, so you're not white knuckling it to a ski resort, that's like the biggest. Everybody's like, I don't really care about all-wheel drive. I want to go on forest roads, and I want to be able to go to the ski resort and not be white knuckling it the whole way.
Right.
So those are the two biggest, what everybody kind of focuses it around.
Okay.
And then you can take an all-wheel drive and put a little bit of lift and a winch and a bumper on it, and it's still pretty capable. It'll take you back in the woods and get you out, go play.
What made you get into this?
I'm a car dude. I'm a car dude. I have old Jeeps and Willys and stuff that I've restored and built over the years. And it came time to, I always wanted, I had bought a new pickup truck, new 4-door 1-ton pickup truck, and the problem I didn't care about with it is I tow my Jeeps and I take my motorcycles. And if I went four-wheeling, then all my motorcycles and gear were sitting out in the back of the truck. And if I went riding motorcycles, then my Jeep was sitting out, which is fine. But so I thought I'd try a van because I could put the bikes in the back of the van. And so I bought this dirt cheap van just to try it out and see if I liked it. It was old and used. It had 300,000 miles on it. And I used it to 490,000 miles.
Wow.
And I loved it. So then I was like, cool, I'm going to build a top. I'm going to build four-wheel drive. I'll build my own four-wheel drive system underneath of it and do a diesel conversion, all that stuff. So that's kind of what stemmed it. And then I just started building that van up.
And here you are.
Here I am, yeah.
Oh, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So what's something that you're kind of planning for the future?
So the future, we have some really cool, I can't tell you all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't have to share all of it, right? Maybe just something.
We do have some really cool things coming out.
Okay, cool.
The one thing I'm really excited about right now is that we're building a modular seat system, and it's really hard to explain without drawing pictures. That I explained it to my production managers, and they all looked at me like it was just my head popped off, my whole shoulder spun around. But it's a seat that seats two people, faces forward, and it has 3-point seat belts. It's DOT approved.
Okay.
And the bottom of the seat will flip up, and the floor in front of the seat will flip up, and it'll expose not a porta potty, but an actual toilet.
Okay.
With water and everything. And then it exposes a shower pan in front of it.
Oh.
So you flip this up, you flip that up, and now you have a bathroom and a shower with a curtain that goes all the way around it. And it takes up one, because in vans, footprint's important.
Right.
Real estate's small. So you have this one small area that will serve as, it really serves as three different things. It serves as forward-facing seating for two people. It serves as your toilet, and it serves as your shower. But it will also, in the Sprinter vans and the ProMaster vans, the front seat's higher than the floor in the back. So naturally, everybody in the back sits down really low, and if you spin a Sprinter seat backwards, they rotate around so it faces backwards. Well, you can't share the same table because these people are so low.
Yeah.
So this raises that up and gets everybody at the same eye level, and now you can put a table on it, and so when it's all flip down forward facing, it becomes a place for three people to eat.
Wow.
So it really does. It's very multitasking, and we're going to sell it so that DIYers can just slide it in their van and bolt it down, or other van companies can buy it and slide it in their van and bolt it down.
So how many clients do you serve in a year, in a week? What's your average here?
So our average year over the last couple of years has been between 200 and 250 vans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's anywhere from what level of service?
It can be pretty much anything. When I say that number, that doesn't really include like somebody comes in to get a window installed or a vent fan installed or something like that. It's pretty much bigger jobs. So it'll either be a top or an interior or a four-wheel drive conversion. And then some vans get all three things, and some vans only get one of those things.
Okay.
It can be any combination of it.
Okay.
But
Very cool. So you can add a top to any van as well, right?
so yeah, we do tops on all the typical new vans, the Ford Transit, the ProMaster, the Sprinter, and then the Chevy Express, and then the older Ford E-Series we still do pop tops on. And then we also do pop tops on some really oddball weird stuff, like we do custom tops, which is like a whole nother realm of things. So we've done Hummers, we've done Land Rovers, Range Rovers, and a Ford Expedition, a Ford Excursion. We've done some really weird.
Wow.
So if people come to us and they're willing to pay for it, we'll do some weird stuff. We did one on a toter home too, which is a semi that's an RV.
Oh yeah.
And the pop top on that thing was probably 8 feet wide and 14 feet long or something like that. Had a hospital bed that tilted up in it and a big screen TV that flipped down in there.
Wow. I'm sure we can find them somewhere on social media.
Yeah, go digging around.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think this has been such an interesting, I'm so happy to be here. This is a totally different realm of things than I didn't know about, right?
Right.
Being new to the RV industry too, right?
Right.
So it's, it's nice to see that you're doing such great work here. So kudos to you.
Thanks.
What do you think is going to be the biggest change this year after COVID, right? Well, it's still a thing, but I would say, for your business, do you think that things are on the up and up? How do you feel about that?
Yes. So everybody in the RV world, when COVID hit, everybody's like, oh, I can't go to my resort. I can't go here. I can't do this. I can't fly. Give me an RV. Give me something to tent, camp, or get out or whatever.
Right.
And we saw like a surge of people that were also, they don't want to go camping, but they don't want to use a plane to fly anymore because they're older and they have health issues or whatever. And they're like, we just need really a road trip mobile, but that we can stay a night or two in.
Right.
We like going somewhere, but we don't want to just stay in different hotels. We go to visit our kids in a different city, or whatever the case may be. And then they can just park it in their driveway, or their kid's driveway, and stay for a few days and then go back. And they're not in hotels because everybody's kind of creeped out for hotels and airplanes for a while.
Right.
And so we had a little bit of that. And then, but I think overall, COVID just kind of shook things up enough for people to be like, we kind of need to get back to either our roots or something fun that's cheap and affordable and
back to nature.
And a van kind of does that because it doesn't come with all the costs associated with an RV. You don't have a second set of tires and wheels to replace and insurance and storage and maintenance and all that stuff when you can still drive this to work every day.
Right.
So you're still only a 2-car family perhaps or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it made a lot of people sort of realize wwhat's important to them and what they want to do.
Yeah.
And their kids are growing up.
Right. Right.
How
It's
much
good.
time do they have with their kids?
Yeah. It's kind of a combination of both. People that want to full time, people that want to go out and explore, a little bit of everything.
Right.
Van life suits you.
Right.
Yeah. How many employees do you have here?
We currently have 40, probably 48.
Wow, that's
I think
great.
there's 40 on hourly payroll and then our salary guys.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you work with other, contractors and things as well when you bring in on certain projects. Is that
Yeah.
true? Yeah.
So we have some sewing contractors that do outside sewing for us, but we just recently brought all that in-house and started doing that here.
Okay. So what is that? When you do the sewing for, what is that?
For the canvases, for the pop tops
Gotcha.
and all the cushions down below and window shades, and there's a lot of sewing.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
Right.
So you brought that all in-house? And
So we brought almost all that in-house, and then we still have, trying to think of what else we have going outside. Our fiberglass, we actually do, the one thing we don't do here, we weld all the frames up, we paint everything, we have a paint booth, we do all Raptor liner, and everything's done in-house with the exception of the fiberglass tops themselves. We build the plugs, and then we have molds built, and then we have an outside source that actually builds the parts and delivers them to us.
Very cool.
And so far, that's been working pretty good, but they're having a hard time staying up with us too, and it's a big company, but 200 tops a year turns out to be a lot.
Yeah.
So the bigger we get, the more we bring stuff in-house, and that's probably one of the next things that'll be brought in-house, but we'll have to go into another building and do it.
Okay. And this is a pretty large building here. How big is?
21,000 square feet.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's a big building.
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I've really enjoyed this today. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
No, I don't know. Go buy a camper van.
Yeah. Very cool.
At least come check them out.
Yeah. It's exciting. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to give a special thanks to our sponsors, Eric Zell, Cummins, United Park Brokers, and Dish Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in.